I will go to jail. I did not do anything malicious, but I was not hoping for the outcome, and it's happened anyways. So this is what triggered it, okay? And could you please have some compassion and understanding? I was given this shirt, and people know that I study JFK, and the birthday of Leah Michelle Cosette is the anniversary of John F. Kennedy's assassination. And then there's this book, The Second Reign of JFK, and there is this book, Why Meadow Died. Leah means meadow, and I only know about that shooting, which was a Parkland shooting, and the movie Parkland is about John F. Kennedy, and the father of Meadow was criticized for putting on a Trump shirt the morning of that shooting, and so when he showed up at the hospital, he didn't change it, and was trying to identify, is she amongst those in the hospital, wounded or dead, and she became like a Messiah-type figure to me, Jewish on both sides, and Donald Trump is also called 45, and I saw a type of stigmata. She was shot 4 times, and then with Congressional Medal of Honor type courage, and in a high-stress situation like that she wasn't trained for. She tried to use her body as a human shield for somebody else, and the shooter returned to shoot her 5 more times, 4 and 5. And by the wounds of the Messiah, that we are supposed to be, our wounds are supposed to be healed. And there is a fatal head wound of the beast, and the fatal head wound of the beast is supposed to be healed. And I had a vision, and she was born the 5th of October. 10/4 is when Parkland was released. And when Yom Kippur was on her birthday, it was actually Yom Kippur and solemnities. When I celebrate a birthday of, if you celebrate the birthday of Christ or the Virgin Mary or John the Baptist or somebody in solemnities, you always begin the vigil the evening before, okay? So it would begin the evening before on 10/4, which is the feast of my confirmation name, Francis of Assisi, who was the first stigmatic. But 10/4 also means affirmative, Roger, copy, I hear you. So it was a type of stigmata. And a trump card is the card of a lesser suit that takes all the others on the table. And Las Vegas means the meadows. And at Las Vegas, they play cards, And so she was like the Messiah of a different suit, of a different gender, of maybe a lower ranking number, lower by some people's standards, but very rich in other ways and more understanding of human nature and wanting universal salvation. Much more fun maybe to be around, in my opinion, and much more healing to people like myself than Jesus Christ or his father or any male for that matter. And Leah has all of those abilities, and I was trying to show those things to her, and I should have stayed sober, okay? And Donald Trump happened to get shot on July 13th, which is the birthday of Jamie Gutenberg, who was her father, Fred Gutenberg, she died in that Parkland shooting. She was also Jewish, and she was a dancer. I was singing the song, Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer, Elton John. And then I go downstairs and I see people are holding Donald Trump on her birthday. And he's got blood coming. It would have been like a fatal head wound like John Kennedy. His his head would have split open in public in front of a crowd of people for everyone and the media to see over and over again, like John Kennedy, except for the bullet was fired a split second later to prevent that, so it hit his ear. And I was hearing voices saying, you have ears, but you do not hear. That is a quote from scripture. I don't think you're hearing me, Matthew. And that is a message to all of these people who do not believe that I have any merit whatsoever. These are signs, okay? These are impressions that are left on my head. And I do not claim infallibility or that the spirit of John Kennedy is inspiring all of them. But look at the shooter, for instance. His name is Thomas. Okay, Thomas means twin. I met Leah in the Twin Cities, and I called her my twin flame. And usually with the twin flame, one of them is chasing the other, and the other one is fleeing, okay? Because it's a very frightening thing, and they usually are not very compatible, like the two opposite halves of a yin and a yang. Those are two very maybe not very compatibility is oftentimes the story, and a lot of people think it's a BS story, the whole thing about twin flames, whatever. But met in the Twin Cities, and twin Thomas means twin, and a doubting Thomas is like a person who does not have ears to hear. A doubting Thomas was doubting the resurrection, so and he said, "I will not believe unless I can put my fingers in the wounds." And so the term doubting Thomas. And then she went to Thomas and Catherine, okay? And people call Catherine Cat. And Tom was a cat, and Tom and Jerry. And the middle name of JFK was Fitzgerald, which means son of Jerry, okay? So there's whatever, take it or leave it. And then the middle name of the shooter was Matthews, okay? My name, Matthew, and it was July 13th. It was one of the appearances of Our Lady of Fatima. The Miracle of Fatima, October 13th, 1917, the year that John F. Kennedy was born, is the only reason I live in the Twin Cities and ever met Leah. And Leah was the moon in Joseph's prophetic dream, okay? With the coat of many colors. And the last time I spoke with Leah was the anniversary of Leah Rabin's husband, Yitzhak Rabin, a name for Isaac, the father of Jacob, who was the husband of Leah. His assassination, 1104. You turn it around, that's 411, my birthday, but 11, and that's Rachel Mussolini's birthday too. Rachel was the other bride of Jacob, and Mussolini means Jacob. And Jackie Lee Kennedy, Jacob and Leah. JFK went by John and Jack. Jack alternative for Jacob. Jack Ruby killed Lee Harvey Oswald. Leah's alternative for Leah. And so all the name alternatives for the people at that Parkland, that assassination in Dallas. And then my best friend Michelle, which means she who is like God. She's the one who ordered that book. And Leah's middle name, Michelle, who is like God. Her first name, Leah, means lioness in Latin. Jesus was the Lion of Judah. Last name, Cosette, means pet lamb. And Cosette was the light of darkness during the French Revolution. Symbol for light over darkness, victory of light in the darkness of the French Revolution, overcoming it. And the day after Trump's assassination was Bastille Day, the day that celebrates the victory of the French Revolution. So all of these signs, how could you say they're insignificant? And then she has an office on Perry Street, and the anniversary of Elizabeth Potter Perry's death, I am transferred next to George Floyd, Perry Floyd Square, his middle name at Perry. Matthew Perry dying the anniversary of Mussolini's march on Rome, and the other time the 100 year, he triumphed over a first world cradle of democracy without any votes. And that was 1922. She got her license 2022 in March, and March was the month of the founding of the party, and that was the year on October 28th, 100-year anniversary. I violated probation. The following October 28th, Matthew Perry dies. Matthew Perry starred in Friends, and she said, "We're not friends." I jumped off a building, I fell for her. I took a leap of faith in her. Anyway, so last time we spoke, that was the anniversary of Yitzhak Rabin getting assassinated, Leah Rabin's husband. Leah, the moon. Well, the following birthday of Leah Rabin, this year anyways, Year of the Dragon, Leah's Chinese zodiac is the dragon, Leah Rabin's Chinese zodiac is the dragon. The birthday, April 8th, which is the birthday of Mussolini's Jewish mistress, Sarafati was her last name, and Leah Michelle Sarafati, and you should look up the relationship she had with John in 2022. But if you were to, anyway, so there was the eclipse on April 8th, sun and moon. The last time there was an eclipse like that was the year I proposed to Leah and jumped off that building, took my leap of faith, fell in love literally, spent 10 weeks in a wheelchair. And then she had me arrested May 11th because I was so fascinated by all these signs and wonders, okay? And May 11th was when our flag changed to the 8-pointed star of Inanna, Queen of Heaven, the morning star, which is not a star, it's a planet Venus. And the symbol for, the Da Vinci Code symbol for a cup on its side. And George Perry Floyd died at Cup Foods. And when Leah's agency pressured her into getting a restraining order, Very shortly afterwards, the Minneapolis, her city's police station was burning to the ground, and it seemed like a zombie apocalypse here, where I was boarding up windows I was helping people board up the windows and stuff like that. And so I was starting to get worried if I don't get some sort of message to Leah and make 100% reparation and show that I'm trying my best to make reparation and diligently offer everything I can to, and offer all my money and whatever, anything I can. At least I'm showing a sacrifice, trying my best, And so I go to jail now, and at least she will feel safe while I'm in jail. But this might be a good video to leave up, because maybe there's a message. There might be something she is called to do. There might be a message for Leah. And Leah was the moon, and JFK used to say very fervently, we go to the moon not because it is easy, but because it is difficult. We go to the moon because it is hard, okay? He put insane amounts of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars back then, what it was worth, to get us to the moon. And it never happened in his lifetime. And maybe I like I said, I might not get to have friendship with Leah and earn her trust in this lifetime. But still, all those things to consider. Apollo program JFK started, and the Apollo, my grandmother's name is Apollonia, and she died Feast of Our Lady of Fatima, May 13th. The first appearance of Our Lady of Fatima was May 13th, 1917. I met Leah May 18th, 2017, jumped off a building 6 days before JFK's 100th birthday, and this shirt was just given to me shortly before this, and the bullet just hits his ear, and I just feel like it was like, you gotta hear this, there's a message. And it was an inside job, because the people were photographing this guy and filming him, and the Secret Service sees all this, they're not gonna let someone get on the closest building to the former president of the United States giving a speech. They obviously didn't want him to talk, and they saw what was going on. They saw that he failed multiple shots, and then they took him out before he could say anything. But obviously, I don't want to... I'm not going to say I speak infallibly, but that is what I saw. So I believed there was going to be like apocalyptic type rioting and Civil War type scenes like I saw with the George Floyd incident, where there were tanks on Capitol Hill and there were military checkpoints here in the Twin Cities. And that is why I broke the no contact order. I did it out of true love and true altruism.